Hello. Is anyone watching? I've been gone for so long. Just waiting for people to show up. Studio is still a work in progress, but grateful. Grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, grateful. So today's topic is going to be about how to start over again. And that could be in a lot of different senses. That could be in spiritual sense. That could be in the sense of personal, which can be as well as spiritual, the metaphysical sense, which I have done not once, not twice, but thrice in my life. Um, the actor, the storyteller sense, um, the teacher, the lover, the family man or family woman. We're always starting over. And that's a lot to do, I believe, with relationships. You know, change is inevitable. It's always going to happen, right? Change is going to happen to us, right? Uh, Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's indifferent. Sometimes we bite off more than we can chew. I eat a lot of steak, but my health now has decided, hey, you know what? I'm not going to drink any more soda, so I've given up Coca-Cola Classic for the last time. Um, Lots of things have happened since I've seen y'all. Um, but y'all have been in my thoughts and prayers, and I'm ever grateful to you and to your support and sharing these videos and asking when am I going to come back and everything. So y'all are extended part of the creative collective, and you are the creative collective. Excuse me, and I'm ever grateful for you. Hello, Mort. How are you? My name is Seth David Suits Healy. You can call me Seth David. You can call me Suits. Just don't call me late for dinner, especially if it's steak. Uh, I've gotten a chance to experience a lot of things since last I talked to you. My sister-in-law got married. It was a beautiful ceremony. Um, I've been writing again, which is great. I should put that in. How to start over as a writer. Um, but since mainly this is about metaphysics, I found these two card decks. Crystillery and Beasterly, right? These are what we call insulated decks. And I've talked about that before. But these are decks that you're not going to open yourself up to things that are you don't want to open yourself up to, right? These are the beast of the world. These are the crystals, the stones of the world. These are frequency holders for us, right? And so we're going to start off with this tonight because when we're starting over, we've got to start simple. Something my wife always says is, you know, you don't want to exhaust yourself. And I realize that I have exhausted myself to the point of no return. It's so funny. I went from, going 90 miles an hour down a dead end road from in one field to doing it in another, and then doing it and combining the two. And so I had to learn balance. I'm ever learning. You're ever learning, right? We're growing as human beings. The world is sometimes not beautiful, but you are always beautiful, and you're always working hard to make the world a better and more beautiful place. So, the medicine card deck, I'll talk about this a lot. I don't really even use a deck much. I use the book a lot. So, I'm just going to open this up here and we're going to start. Okay. Oh, look at this. Buffalo. Buffalo says, Buffalo, you bring us the gifts of life. Hear our prayers, smoke rising like phoenix. We are reborn within the sacred words. All right. So, buffalo is sacred in many traditions. Many. The white buffalo is the most sacred. It's a sign that the prayers are being heard. So, if you've been praying a lot and you're like, hey, I've been praying a lot, and you're like, play it, you heard the Garth Brooks song, "Sometimes I Thank God for Unanswered Prayers," right? Um, just know that sometimes, just because you're praying for something, or you're asking the universe or the world, or however you uh, put your devotions and intentions out there, just because they're not um, achieved, or they don't happen right away, right, does not mean that they're not being heard. There's a right time and there's a right place. All right. So don't rush it. Don't rush it. Take your time. Take your time. All animals are sacred, right? That's why I, again, can't, recommend decks like this more so, because, and I can speak, guys, I promise. I'm just a little tired. Um, the buffalo was a major source of sustenance in the plains. So if you're looking for sustenance in your life, right, call in buffalo, call in that frequency. Say, hey, I've been working 3 jobs and I'm still not making the money that I need to make. Maybe I can work one job and then have time for my family, or time for my hobby, or time for this, that, these, or those. So buffalo is also known for the abundance, right? Abundance. I've always been looking for a great white buffalo statue. Now, when Virginia hears this, she's going to scream. She's like, no more trinkets. But I love my trinkets. I love them. I use them every day. I got my Norse set up, and I have my Greek set up, and now I'm waiting on my Egyptian, and then my India, and um, my other ones. So I use them every day. You have to find ways to connect, right? To connect. I was going to church every day, and it was exhausting me. But then I realized I could watch church online, and my dogs would not bark and yell and scream and wake up my baby and my sleeping wife. And so there's always a way to find strategy. We have some possums outside that I like to feed and take care of, because possum is an animal for strategy. They can play dead, but they also keep away snakes, and they keep away other things. They're beautiful creatures, even though they may not look beautiful. I have this beautiful white possum that comes out here. If we talk about the white buffalo, this white possum that is very kind, and will sit there with the raccoon and eat. Um, so that's very beautiful. So let me see here. I'm just looking at some things. So if you've drawn the buffalo card, you may be asked to use your energy in prayer. You may also be called upon to be an instrument of someone else's answer to a prayer. This could be a time of recognizing the sacredness of every walk of life, um, to honor another's pathway, even if it brings you sadness. It's a part of the message that buffalo brings. This would be a time of reconnection to the meaning of life and the value of peace. And we all want that. We all want that value of peace. Let me make sure no one's over here on the Sootsy Bootsy station. I apologize if y'all are over there and I have not said anything. Make sure you're over here on Things Network. Make sure you're over here on the Phoenix Entertainment Network. I'm never gonna get the name right. I apologize. I love y'all to death. But okay. All right. Let me see here. All right. So if y'all have questions, we're going to start very simple. If you have questions about starting over again and how to start over, I'll be glad to answer those. Again, I don't have all the answers. One of the rules of Walt Disney was never say I don't know. Right? When someone talks to you and asks you a question, and you say I don't know, that cuts off information. Right? My dad used to say, if you don't learn something new every day, then you shouldn't even get out of bed. You've got to learn something new every day. You've got to strive to learn, to create, to grow. As we grow, the world grows, our environment grows, right? Strategy grows. When I started writing again, and it was taking me a little bit of time. It's so funny. I'm writing on my old computer, not my new computer, and I was looking at the message that was teaching me. that in one hand you can think, oh, I need all this new stuff. I need all this new stuff when you have what you need. Right now, I'm not going to say I'm not going to use a new computer. I'm definitely going to use a new computer. But you want to look in the world and you want to say, okay, how can I be strategic? How can I open my mind, my heart, and my body and my soul to be a better person, to so that I can begin again? And as we do that, 8 people are watching. That's amazing. Infinity. That's awesome. Uh, Buffalo medicine is a sign that you achieve nothing without the aid of the Great Spirit. You cannot achieve anything if you think you are the biggest dog in the yard. That's my opinion. Again, it's not maybe not the opinion of people who own these networks, but that's my opinion. Seth David Suits Healy's opinion. If you think you are the biggest dog in the yard, right, that is where you need to start. That is where you need to start and say, why do I think I'm the biggest dog in the yard? Do I want that responsibility to be the biggest dog in the yard? People say they want this and they want that and they want these and they want those. But you have to work. Remember, we have to collaborate. If I would have learned that lesson, I've talked about many times when I was coaching acting, storytelling, auditioning, whatever you want to call it. It was my way or the highway, and I didn't like to collaborate, and I lost a lot of amount of good friends with that, and I probably lost a chance to be represented because people be like, well, Seth David does this and Seth David does that, and Suits does this and Suits does that. So I had to grow. I had to learn. We all have to do that. We all have to grow and we all have to learn. Um, I tell people, they're like, oh, I want this big stone. I want this beautiful wand, or I want this, I want that, I want these, I want those. I tell people to get a little piece of quartz, a little piece of citrine, and write down what they want and put it under that little piece of quartz, that little piece of citrine, and let yourself grow. If it's meant for you, it will come to you. I was talking to a fellow colleague, and we were talking about, we worked at a metaphysical store, and so we just bought all kinds of stuff. Like, we thought it was going out of style. It was spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Now I have all of it, right? But you know, you don't need all of it. Like they say, I can't remember where I read it, but when a shaman is coming toward the end of his or her life, they give up everything. They give up, you know, everything because they don't need it. You can't take it with you, which is also a great play if you haven't seen it. It's great. It's a great read, very short. Um, and they share it with the world. With digital media now, we can go on Facebook, and I live in a community here in Mississippi where people are always either getting rid of stuff, and they're like, oh, I saw the other day where people had all these stones they collected. I was like, wow, I wonder how much that costs, and it was for free, and I didn't get to it, and that was the way of the world telling me I didn't need it, right? I didn't need it. So to start over again, right? That is hard. It's not easy. Some of y'all know I was in the hospital this past week. One of the most scariest things I've ever experienced in my life. It also awoke me to the fact that I don't know what's going on in the medical community. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. But the fact that anybody has to wait in a hall for 9 hours to get treatment. I'm talking about people who are bleeding, screaming, people who transferred from other hospitals to emergency rooms. And thank God God was with me. And I had my family with me, and I had my friends who were texting me and checking on me and calming me down because it was scary. Sitting in a hallway, not in the ER, not a waiting room, y'all, a hallway. I'm not kidding. This is honest to God truth. And I sat there. I was wondering, how do I come back from this? How in God's green earth do I come back from this? Um, they talk about people nearly dying and experiences they have. I went to a dentist appointment, right? And I've already said the people at UMC, God bless them, because they knew how to do everything. Um, they took care of me. My body just reacted to something. We don't even know what it was. Um, it was I could I could hear people. I couldn't respond. My body felt like electricity was going through it. My arms went numb. My legs went numb. My feet were numb for hours. It was scary. So these kind of things that happen in our world, we have to understand that my legs were numb, my feet were numb for hours. Oh, Robin Raquel and Gypsy Moon are watching. Y'all make sure Gypsy Moon is going to sometime in the near future. She's a hiker, so if she's a trailblazer. That's what I call hikers, trailblazers, because they're going out there and blazing trails for people and bringing pictures. She brought me a stone. She was on a path in Alabama and found a stone today, and she showed it to me. I'm very grateful for that. So abundance is always coming to us, no matter where we are, ladies and gentlemen, no matter who and what we're doing. Abundance is coming to us. It just comes in different ways. Sometimes it comes in abundance of bills. Now you're like, how is that a blessing? Well, when you learn the strategy to pay those bills, and thank God Virginia is like a mathematician, strategic accounting, and person, because I'd be screwed. There's no there's no ands if ups about it. Um, so you just have to be grateful for what's there, right? You have to be grateful for it. Still at 8 y'all over here on the things and Phoenix, and so I'm very grateful for that. But we're gonna open some cards here in a second. If y'all have a question, please do not. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. You might say, "Hey, I want to start over. I was an artist when I was 25, and now I'm in my 50s or I'm in my 40s, and I don't know how." Or I'm trying to get to metaphysics, but I really don't know exactly where to go, and I don't have a lot of money, and I'm not sure if it's my thing, but it's something I'm interested in. Um, can I be in it and not be like totally like coming to every meeting, coming to everything, coming to this, spending money on conferences and all that? Like I said, y'all, once I put out that energy, next year, in the years that follow, I'm going to start doing conferences and doing lectures. I can feel it. I'm putting it out there right now. And as I say that, 10 people turn to watch. That's all right. So let's see what else we got here. Let's see. I'm trying to see something I've made notes on. If I can, I've been trying to. Okay. One second. Let's go with horse, right? Let's go with horse. Mighty horse, power to run across the open plains or to bring the vision of the shields dancing in the purple dream rain. Stealing horses is stealing power. That's where we get the term horsepower in cars, according to this book. Horse is a physical power and an earthly power. Horse enables shamans to fly through the air and reach heaven. So if you're trying to, as a metaphysician, that's what I call it, or a spirit worker, a light worker, whatever you want to call us, right? And you're trying your best to understand how to quote unquote fly. And I'm not meaning astral travel. That's very, very hard to do. And it's also very, very dangerous. All right, Mort, thank you so much for tuning in. This is always saved. You can come back and watch it on Things Network, Phoenix, or on the Suitsy Boots station. Humanity made a great leap forward when horse was domesticated, a discovery akin to that of fire. And people don't realize what that is. Like when fire came into humanity, right? When we learned about fire, there's a reason why Prometheus was punished so badly by the lowercase g's, because he gave fire, because it's power, it is heat, it is warmth. It's also light in the darkness, right? Many things to do with fire. What happens with the phoenix? The phoenix burns with this primitive fire, right? Beautiful, glowing fire, right? And then turns back to the cinders and to the ashes and rises again. Fire is something that is a tool that man has used to explore, to cultivate, to clear, right? Imagine the things that fire has done for mankind. Imagine, both good and bad, right? When something burns down, what happens? And it really matters. What do? We rebuild it. Notre Dame Cathedral caught on fire. What are they doing? They're rebuilding it, right? These things are important. It's important. You realize when things are gone or things are destroyed. I have a Bible. My great grandmother's home. I'll never forget Thanksgiving, uh, years and years ago. The house caught up. We were sitting down at dinner, and my grandmother lived with us, and her house just caught on fire. All these beautiful things, and there's a Bible that survived the fire. And so whenever I'm in a hard, rough time, I take that Bible out, right? That survived the fire, right? Survived being destroyed, right? I look at it and I say, I can survive anything. If paper survived fire, I can survive anything. All right. Let me see here. So here again, this is a great book, y'all. This is Medicine Cards by Jamie Sams and David Carson. It's through St. Martin's Press. And like I said, I don't really use the cards that much. I have lots and lots of animal cards. I collect them like I could collect my Horse of Gansus, right? Which eventually in the studio y'all will see. But that's a Horse of Gans. No, that's not. That's not. I lie. That's a lie. I haven't gotten that pin tie yet, that tie clip yet. But that's an elephant. Okay. Um, so our relationship with horse altered the self concept of man, right? So if stealing a horse, right, is stealing power, imagine what would happen if we worked with horse. We worked with horse. And as we worked with horse, as we made that collaboration again, if I could go back and talk to myself 5, 8 years ago and say, hey, collaboration is going to help you so much more than you thinking everything is right. I've talked about it, when I was pursuing acting, when I was much younger. Everybody called me Actor Man because I thought, I can quote Stanislavski, I can quote Meisner, I can quote Udo Hagen. Just because I could quote them didn't mean I knew what they meant, right? It's the same way you have with people who claim to be spiritual. They say, oh, this is what Quartz is, and this is what that is, and blah, 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 right? And then they go out and do the exact opposite of what they're telling you to do, right? You have to be careful in this world because when you're starting over people, it's like a blind dog in a meat house, right? I mean, they're going to find that dog may be blind, but it's going to find you. It's going to find you. It's going to get out there, and it's going to find what that is, and it's going to not let go, right? Because maybe it thinks if it gets that meat and nurtures it, it will get its vision back. Who knows? But that's how some people take advantage of people in the rebirth stage, right? Because people who are in the rebirth stage, who are in the phase of starting over again, there's so many things out there, right? So many things out there that can prevent the phoenix from rising up out of the ashes and just burning so bright, like starlight bright, right? Rainbow bright, for those people who are my age, seeing those beautiful colors. The Black Stallion, this is something I found very fascinating. The Black Stallion comes from what we call the void. And when I read this a few months ago and it said, I am from the void where the answer lives. I always thought the void, when they say you look into the abyss, the abyss looks back into you. And I always likened the abyss and the void as one thing. And it's not. It's something very, very, very different. So what we have to do is we have to understand that the void, that place that we go to, right? It's like our Superman's, come on, guys, help me. Fortress of Solitude, right? It's where we go to find our answers, where we take our stone, we put it in, right? I think that's the coolest thing. We put the stone in and things happen. It's amazing how much things, like a little bit of knowledge goes such a long way. Such a long, long way. So yeah, today we measure the capacity of engines with the term horsepower. a reminder of the days when the horse was honored and highly prized partner with humanity, right? We need to get back to that. I've ridden a horse maybe 3 times in my life, but the energy is coming into my life. Um, very, very present and very strong. And a horse is a big thing, just like a cow, right? Just like a deer. They're big creatures, and they're beautiful creatures. And to see how they gallop and walk and see what they can do, the power is just amazing. The horse of Gansu, right, is a horse on the back of a sparrow, and I've shown it to y'all before. But to me, it represents so many things. It works power. It represents balance of work and play, and it represents faith. And I think when we are starting over again, we have to really look and say, okay, how? What do we do? What is the best way to start over again? How? I need the faith of that sparrow to let that horse get on my back, right? To work and collaborate with that horse, right? Because that's a lot of power. When you start activating that power, when you start activating that frequency, right? Um, you tend to understand your life a little bit differently. Since and I'm not saying this, I'm not preaching this to anybody. I'm telling you, I'm advising you. Uh, find your going to church every day. Find whatever that works for you. For some people, it's hiking. For some people, it's painting. For some people, it's singing. For some people, it's yoga. For some people, it's helping the wildlife. For some people, it's cleaning. For some people, it's all kinds of different things. Okay. Let's see what else here. So, like the yellow stallion. This is what I think is fascinating. So, yellow stallion gives the gifts of power on this journey. Power. The yellow stallion. So, the black stallion, what does he do? He's from the void, where the answer lives. And a yellow stallion, what does he do? He brings in the power. Now, is that the power to find the answers? Right? Because imagine where the answers live, where the answers are, right? But when we're out here and we're not in the void and we're looking for answers, and we're searching and we're seeking, right? We also have to work with the red stallion, which is very playful, but he's playful because he brings the joys of working with the balancing of the work and the heavy experiences, the heavy medicine, excuse me, and the joyful experiences of play. So work and play, it needs to be balanced. Before I got on tonight, Virginia was like, "Don't overextend yourself." Right? Don't overextend yourself. I'm learning just because I get another hour. And tonight I can't do it. Greg offered to let me take his hour, but I'm gonna get off here at 10 because I have to go get cat litter and bread. Not cat litter, cat food and bread, um, and get recharged because I'm gonna be on a couple of nights this week. So I'm pacing myself and taking my time. That's what we have to do as we walk in this dream world, right? And in the real world. When we're in the world of dreams, we have to always remember to come back and be in reality. I had a relative used to say, Seth, you always are just a dreamer, and you have to live in the real world. And I would get mad and I would get angry when they would say that because it was like they're cutting something off from me. They're cutting something off from me. But then I learned that I can be in the dream world. I can work in the play in the world of what will be and what could be, and then I will make it what it will be. It takes work. It takes work. This is a great quote. No abuse of power will ever lead to wisdom. No abuse of power will ever lead to wisdom. In wisdom, you understand that power is not given lightly, but awarded to those who are willing to carry responsibility in a balanced manner. Learn compassion, learn caring, learn teaching, Learn how to love. Learn how to be loved. Share your gifts. But don't think sharing your gifts is going to get you something in response. A lot of people think, oh, if I share this, I'm going to get something. I was guilty of this. I'm still guilty of this sometimes. Um, I've told the story where when I stopped working at the place I was working and I wasn't doing readings, right? And I was like, I'm just going to go out and, offer this, that, these, and those to people, and maybe they'll tell people, right? And I was banking on that. Well, universe said, these people are going to learn from you, and you're going to help them. If you would have saved the money that you had from all the work and stuff that you got before, the world might be different now. But you spend it like it's going out of style. When you don't acknowledge your blessings, when you are constantly asking yourself, are you working? Are you learning? Right? If you have time to ask yourself that, then you're not. If you have time to sit there, like I'm looking right now at a sign I have on here that says, are you working? Are you learning? Are you being productive? And then it says reading, writing now. Right? Now, I got that from a movie called Hollow Man where it said, are you working? He would look up and it'd be on his ceiling. And I've had that on my ceiling almost forever when I was a kid. Because if I looked up and I saw it, it was a reminder. But the flip side of that is, if you have time to read something on the wall, guess what? You're not working or you're not learning. If you have that kind of time, you need to be working, you need to be learning. That does not mean, cards fell. That means, guess what? It's card time. Y'all ready? When cards fall here, that means they want to play. And these have not been opened, right? I have looked at the book, though. I will tell you that. But this is a great little starter deck. So we're just going to see what's going on here, okay? And I need y'all to do me a favor. I have a friend who has a very big audition. I have a few friends who have some big things happening right now. And y'all are beautiful people, right? And have beautiful hearts and amazing manifestors. And this audition could really change this person's life when he books it. We're gonna say win because there's no if. This is a win. So let's pull the card, right? Let's just see what we got. Our first card is Ruby. You only more so. You only more so. Okay. So as we look at that, I see a spider. Right? There's a spider on here and there's a heart. And what that tells me is right now, a lot of people are working with mending their heart. Their heart has been broken. And so you're bringing spider in to mend it. You have been challenged, right? Anytime you see spider, think of Arachne. And I never forget if it's Athena, because I've heard it in different mythology books. Athena or Hera. I think it's or Aphrodite. One of the threes, right? I'm gonna find out for you. Look at this, rose quartz. Oh, someone's got something here. Let's see. A different kind of love. A different kind of love. Look at that beautiful lion. Every time I think of lion, I think of C.S. Lewis. I think of Screw Tape Letters, which I was one of those sermons that I went to I listened to this week talking about that. And I've never read that book, but he told me what it was about, and I was like, "Woo, that's awesome!" Wow, first the fire. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. First the fire. So what that was, we got a volcano here, and y'all, I'm not lying. Look, so this is a unicorn, and I have unicorn cards here, so we're gonna pull some unicorn cards here in a second. Lepidolite. Breathe in your trueness. And let's just see what the book says. All right. Lepidolite luster is the stuff of princesses' dreams and fairy tales. Ooh. Something in us rebels when we see it, thinking that it can't be natural. But lepidolite's tranquil tones are a real deal, not manipulated or man made. Don't doubt my authenticity and don't doubt your own. Lepidolite quips Lepidolite knows that being outrageously beautiful, or funny, or smart doesn't make you false. Shining brightly gives other people permission to shine, to show their authentic, multicolored self. When you're able to put down your mask, when you recognize the person you see in the mirror, your heart and spirit calm and your soul takes a deep breath. Let Lepidolite support you in breathing in your trueness and basking in your outrageous spirit. Isn't that beautiful? All right, let's see what Lamar says. The fires of volcano create islands in the midst of the ocean's ceaseless churn. I was born of fire. Lamar reminds those who don't see beyond her swirling layers of turquoise blue and sea green. God, those are beautiful colors. Look below your surface, emotions, and find the fire within the water. The fire within the water. Come on, is that not a name for a book? The fire within the, almost steal it. The fire within the water. Wow. Fire creates earth, solid ground from which new things can grow. When you're drowning or simply ready to claim your own space, a place to make a stand or a private island paradise, Larimar will help you find your core fire, the values that ground you. And Larimar counsels when you can't fathom the motives of the people around you. And when we're changing, right? When we're starting over again, right? When we're going very simple, using these kind of cards, or going to church, or going outdoors, or like we talked about, whatever it is, you're finding that you can look beyond the water to see their fire, looking beyond life. Water is a life bringer, right? But we want to look beyond life. We want to look beyond what is, right? We want to work in the now. We want to work in the now and the present, right? We don't want to have time to read the sign, right? Unless we're taking a break. I got, put that out there. My wife might run in here and be like, "Tell them to take a break," because that's very important. We have to learn how to take breaks. Look beyond their water to see their fire. This is where you'll find true understanding. Let's go to Rose Quartz because that was our first one. So let's go there. And I had some issues with Rose Quartz. I'm not gonna lie. I think, I'm gonna get on my little soapbox here. Soapbox time. We got my soapbox. I look at Rose Quartz and I see, oh, it's an easy way people make money, right? It's not that expensive of a stone. People are like, oh, it's pink, it's beautiful, it's love, it's this. But it's also a grounding stone, in my opinion. Working in metaphysical stores, I've seen it. I've seen what it does to people. Love is a way to ground yourself. Unconditional love, no conditions on it. Rose Quartz teaches is the ability to transcend yourself and merge with another, right? Now, this is very important. Merge with another. People think that means a lover. Not all the time. It could mean merge with another existence, another way of being, right? You could open one book here, right? We could have a crystal book here, and I could go and pick up. I have lots of more crystal books, stone books, right? Rock books. And they're going to tell you, it may be similar, but they're going to tell you their spin on it, right? Another person or plant or stone, right? That's an animal or the sky above. The dirt beneath your feet, a volcano, the endless roll of the ocean, all are one. So you can merge with all kinds of things. It not just has to be a person. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a blessing beyond the stars when you find that person that makes you a better person, and you make them a better person. And it's all but you complete me. I hate people say that, but then there needs to be a phrase that's not that. Maybe we can find it one day. Um, all are one. Maybe that's it. Rose quartz knows that you can soften your edges till you blend and blur, weaving yourself into the web of the world. Right? We talked about the broken heart, right? And we talk about bringing in spider, right? Right? That's an animal. It's a safe animal. It's a safe frequency. And you also learning something. When you go in and you start learning about animals and seeing why they're related to this stone or this frequency or this lowercase goddess or god or whatever frequency holders in this world, it gives you some knowledge, right? At least gives you cocktail party conversation, right? One of my favorite things ever is Sisyphean task. Pushing a boulder up the thing, and then the next day it's back down on the thing. I saw a statue today. I was like, I want it, but I don't need it right now. But I want it one day, maybe in my office. So just to know that the task is what you make of it. Am I just taking a break, putting my hand on the palm, right, and I'm pushing it back up because that's what it was supposed to be at that time? But everything comes back. It's cycles, life's cycles. Allow moments of rose quartz. Style love to infuse your awareness of your singular reality. That's beautiful. All right, let's pull some. That's crazy that we had the unicorn, and the unicorn shows up with lepidolite. So let's just say the cosmic sapphire. Act with honor and integrity. Speak your truth. When you are starting over, that is the most important thing. You must act with honor and integrity. You must speak your truth. Some people, guess what? They're not going to listen to it. They're not going to care. And that's fine. And you can't get mad. I can't tell you how many times when I started over, I used to do it on Facebook. If I could go back and look on the book of face and be like, hey, how many times I say, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And then I was like, and then now you see it, people do it, and you're like, that's just, my dad used to say, self-praise stinks, right? Self-praise stinks. If you're praising yourself, that's an issue. Praise other people, praise other people, praise what they're doing, because the laws of the universe, I believe, state that if you're praising other people, they're praising you somehow, some way. If you are affecting people, they're talking about it, right? If you're saying things to people, right, and you're bringing your heart and your mind, your body in, and you're working with that unicorn energy, that mythical unicorn energy, which is horse. So you're taking mysticism and horse energy, right, and putting the two together. Wow, that's some powerful stuff. The cosmic pearl. Expand your psychic gifts. Open the gate of the angelic realms. Now, I tell people, a lot of people are like, I want to connect with my spirit guides. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to tell you from personal experience. You will get a spirit. You'll get a guide. You'll get a person, a guardian angel. You'll get whatever you need to get when it's time. And they may not, that frequency may not reveal to you everything all at once. I've told the story of Arthur. I thought Arthur was just a poet, right? And just a very headstrong, something I used when I was working with leadership and strategy. And then one day he was like, King Arthur. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So it's going to be revealed to you when you're ready for it to be revealed to you, right? It's very, very important. Go with the flow, relax and trust. Accept what is happening. When you are changing, when you are in that phase, right? When you're there, you want to make sure that you're respecting your space If someone is messing with you and your boundaries, you can say, hey, you don't have to tell them why. Very important here. Very important. The why. All right, Jill. I will do an episode of that in one of the shows. Um, like I said, things are changing. The station has changed. I was very charactery and all this kind of stuff. Um, and that I am a character. I can't change that. I'm still gonna do voices. I'm still gonna sing songs here and there. But the important thing here is that people come to this station, I believe, and come to the show to learn something and to feel something that escape. You're taking an hour out of your time, or however long it is, to listen to me, and that's amazing. So I'm very grateful. Let's look at this. Access your gifts. Explore your treasure chest. Accept who you truly are. Look at that. We can't make that stuff up, guys. Explore your treasure chest. Accept who you truly are. And that's hard for a lot of people. It's very hard because you get up and you say, hey, I just want to start over, right? Jill Jade says, yes, agree. We must always learn in life no matter what stage. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So working with the unicorn, right? And unicorn's been coming in a little bit in my auric field. I was at Barnes and Noble. My battery's running low for some reason. So what does that tell you? When the universe, so there you go. Plug back in. So when the universe, I want you to look in my closet yet. When the universe comes in and says, hey, here's a pen. Here's a pen. Write what you want. I want y'all to do that. Tonight I want you to, if you don't mind, you don't have to, but just write what you want. And then write what you need. And see if there's any similarities. Because you may need it. You may need it. And you put your energy out there for that. Right? You put your energy out there for that. Someone was talking about spirit and energy. So we got this deck. We opened it up the other day, but we're going to open it up again because it's such a great deck. So here we go. Let's just see what it has to say. Oh, anvil. Oh, anvil. I think it's anvil, right? Yeah. Sensitivity and strength. Tapping to the forces within. Tapping to the forces within. So when you hit an anvil, boom, makes a noise, right? Makes a noise. Y'all probably wonder where the sound is. My chimes are over there. I couldn't find my little things, but I have another thing that I'm going to ring a few times tonight to clear the energy so we can have freedom. Because that's what we want. We want to move on. We want to let go. And that's the hardest thing to do. It's one of the hardest things to do is when we're changing is to let go. Letting go of urgency. Look at that. We've talked about this. That was in one of the readings the other day. This tree just grows there, right? And it's got clocks and time. And we have to learn how to work with time, right? It is a construct by man, right? And woman. We have to work. We have to work. We have to breathe in the trueness, right? Unicorn says, breathe in the trueness, right? Right. Jill Jade says, letting go. Amen to that. But we have to begin. We have to start. We have to move on. We have to say, we know why the cage bird sings, right? We know why. Let's just open Spirit Book and see. Letting go of urgency, y'all. I can't make that up. I just turned to it. Y'all see that? The card shows a man running out of room filled with clocks and calendars. He has noticed himself, and the air of urgency pervades the room. Through all this frantic expectation, a tree has grown into the room, and he has attached clocks to it as well. You become immersed in tasks and obligations, losing your self-priority and peace of mind in the process. But it's time to let go of urgency and overwhelming demands. Surrender control and the need to stay on top of everything. Stay focused on your life, the tree growing in the room. So start focusing on your own life. We all have those friends who start focusing on your, like, not their life, but your life, and it could get. I've done that. I think every metaphysics, every light worker has. Or like, ooh, I can just do this, or I can just do that, or I can send them a card. I can tell them everything's going to be okay. And sometimes they just don't want to hear that shit. They will cut you off so fast. I've seen it happen. I've experienced it, and I got pissed too. I was like, I didn't have to waste my time, right? But you have to learn how to let go. You have to learn how to let go and let them grow. Let go and let them grow. That should be a shirt. I'm gonna make that a shirt. Let go, let go and let them go. Let them grow. Let go, let them grow. Let go and let them grow. Yeah. Bridget says, took a Caro's trip in high school. One of the things that sticks out most from that trip is LG to the second. Let go and let God. I wonder if LG, the brand, if they know they're saying let go. I wonder if that's a thing. Um, da, da, da. So by setting boundaries and prioritizing your own self-care, you actually make it easier to get things done. That's so true. Well, I plan on opening a store. We have a lot of things going on. I'm gonna be a dad again in December, so a boy, which I'm really excited about. Um, so lots of things are happening. I'm writing again. I'm trying to get the studio up like I want it to, get the Wolf Bear Den how it is, uh, and make these sessions worth y'all's time. So that's something that's important to me. Um, the affirmation with this is I deserve to relax and let go. I live my life at a peaceful pace in a truly self caring way. I deserve to relax and let go. I live my life at a peaceful pace and in a truly self caring way. So we have to learn, right? We have to learn how to acknowledge ourselves and to let things go, right? And grow. We have to do that if we get better, right? If we get better, the world gets better. Like when you see, okay, when you see like an update is available on your computer, you're like, oh shoot, there's a red exclamation point. Is this being recorded? Who knows? Um, let's see what else we got. The angels of the seven chakras. This card is a reminder of the powerful presence of the archangels in your life. Consider the issues you're dealing with and call on the appropriate angel for assistance. When the card is upright, it speaks of the angels of the upper four chakras. Uriel, seventh of the crown chakra, brings greater connection with spirit. If you're working on mediumship or developing your intuition, turn to this powerful force. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Mediumship is not something to be messed with. Okay? It If you don't have somebody that you can hold you accountable, right? And that can really guide you with learning how to speak to those who have passed, um, don't. Don't. I was watching The Shining Veil. If y'all have not watched that show yet, uh, I would highly recommend it. It's a little kooky, um, but it has some really good lessons. Where person starts seeing a dead person, ghost. Okay, not all ghosts are good ghosts, right? Not all spirits are good spirits, right? Um, and you have to learn um, to be decisive, strategic. So work with opossum, right? Work with raccoon, right? Work with horse, right? Use these, use those frequencies. Learn about these creatures. When you start delving in things that you do not know, right? I'm still learning. The one thing I love about this is I get to read. I'm like, ooh, this is great. This is cool. This is awesome, right? I'm also looking for like some really cool archangel statues. If y'all have some you want to get rid of, let me know. Or if you know some place where I can get them, about mid-size. I don't want anything too big. Um, but I'm looking for them. So Uriel, Metatron, Gabriel, Michael, Ariel, Shamel, Raphael, those statues, that'd be awesome. Uh, so Metatron, record keeper and ruler of clear thinking. Man, we need some Metatron. Can you imagine if we had Metatron in high school? If we learned how to work with Metatron in high school, where would we be now? Instead of worrying about, who am I gonna, and who's gonna take me out, and who do I need to be arm around, and all these other things, right? Can you imagine if we just had clear thinking and we weren't confused? Metatron, the sixth or third eye chakra, record keeper and ruler of clear thinking. He will enlighten your mind and help you with cognitive pursuits. And I think we all need that. I need that right now. Gabriel, fifth or throat chakra. Now, this is the one that a lot of people are asking for, and they're like, I want to speak my truth. I just want to speak my truth, damn it. That's all I want. I just want to speak my truth. Rules of communication of all sorts. Call on him for guidance in careers in media and writing. I think we all need him. Or he can also assist in your changing your self-talk. So that's good. We need more Gabriel in our life, right? I think we all need them all. Raphael is called. He's the miracle worker. As a Reiki master teacher, I call Raphael in all the time. Raphael really works a lot with, in my opinion, aventurine. Say you can't get a statue of Raphael, get like a little piece of aventurine. I had a sword for a long time. I had like these. I think I still have them, but they're like it fell. My box fell, but they're beautiful. Fine thing. You don't need to have the thing, right? And I wish I would have learned that like $1,000 ago. Like I'm working on, like I said, getting my religious area together where I go to meditate. And eventually it will be in this room when I get it all set up. But right now it's in our living room. And so, like I said, I have my Norse, I have Christianity, which is my focus and my center. I read the Bible every day and pray every day. But that's me, right? And I can understand why some people can't get to that, and that's perfectly fine. Right? That's perfectly fine. However you get there, as long as may the road rise up to meet you, may the wind be always at your back. That's the most beautiful thing. Raphael is called the miracle worker, and we all need miracles, especially now. He brings the healing to both the emotional and physical issues. So as you're changing, call in Archangel Raphael. And you say, hey, Raphael, I need help with the boundaries. And Metatron, I need a lot of help here. I need to have a clear thought. And Uriel, if you can help me connect with spirit, that would be awesome. So I know I'm not alone. We all been on that path, and we're just like, I'm alone, and I don't want to be alone, please. And we think if we hook up with this person, or we get with this person, or we're in this class, or we're in, we're this and that, and these and those, and we'll be better. And that's not the case. That's not the case. So, yeah, that's a thing. If you're recovering from some romantic wound, professional wound, mental wound, all the wounds, call upon Raphael. Now, if you're pulling these cards, again, this is Energy and Spirit Oracle Guidebook, Sandra Ann Taylor. Again, my mother-in-law got me this. I have one of the greatest mother-in-laws ever. Most mother-in-laws be like, he does what? What does he do? And my mother-in-law supports what I do, and my wife supports what I do, and that's an amazing thing. So if these cards were reversed, then we would talk about this. They would be Michael, which is the first of the root chakra, help anytime you need strength or stamina. And so I think we really need that a lot when we are growing and when we're changing. We need to learn how to ground ourselves and root ourselves. With the Norse area, I want to get the Yggdrasil. I can't pronounce it because I'm not Norse. I'm not Viking. But I'm trying to look for a good tree of life tree. I have one that Michael's story. I have a stone on this like beautiful, holder, right? It's like my tree of life. We have the runes that are pieces of wood. And my friend told me the other day, um, when I was saying, I just need this tree of life. I feel like she's like, you are the tree. You are the tree. You're the grounding. And that really blew my mind. Because most of the time we tell somebody you want something, they're like, okay, go get it. Um, and this person told me you don't need to go get it. You already have it. And that's the most amazing thing. Um, wish we had more people. Yes, she does. That actually, it's over here. I have it. Yes. Okay. So Michael also helps anytime you need. You're feeling insecure with your feelings, whether it's personal or financial. Call on him. Right now, we look at the stock market. It's up. It's down. It's up. It's down. It's up. It's down. We're like, oh, yay! Oh, yay! No, yay! No. Like the weather. I don't know if y'all know about this, but we have a lot of flood warnings here in Mississippi. So please keep all those people in Jackson and the areas that are the flood warnings or that are flooded, those homes in your thoughts. Ariel, second of the second or chakral chakra, assists with fertility, family, and intimacy issues. She also helps with animals and pets. So I guess when someone calls you an animal, no, I'm kidding. Um, no, really, we all are. We're all types of beast, right? You know, I think it was the Greeks at the polis. They would talk about what the beast of the policies and how we can be savage. Human beings can be worse than beast, an untamed beast. Uh, so we have to learn how to work. So as we're going through these changes, I'm going to pull another card here for us and see what we got. Ooh, Howlite, with my favorite. I love Howlite. Um, but Howlite, yeah. Now, so Ariel, the sacral chakra, assists with fertility, family, and intimacy issues, and we all have dealt with it. If you're over the age of 20, you've dealt with you know intimacy issues. Um, Probably due to something happening in your child. I'm not talking about abuse. Obviously, that's there, but people, because how they're viewed in the world, right? How they're viewed, how they're perceived, or how they feel like they're perceived. They get these insecurities. I've had them for a long time. You know, people have them. You have to learn how to deal with them, and you have to learn, hey, that was then. This is now. This is now. We're in the now. We've learned from the then. This is the now. Let's not get caught up. Let's not get caught up in all the BS and the murky stuff. Um, who told me to hush? Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying anybody who had been abused that's not. It's very relevant. It's very relevant. What I was saying was there are people and who are dealing with intimacy issues that they don't know how to share their love. They don't know how to be loved. They don't know how to collaborate in relationships. They don't know how to not just want, right? Or or they think they find these different things in their life and they get all caught up in the stuff, the murk, and they get caught in the abyss and not the void. And we want to get in the void. We don't want to get in the abyss. We want to get in the void. We want to find where the answers are, where they live, and then we bring that fire in, right? We bring that fire in and we lighten it. So the void is not dark to us. It's not an abyss. It's a place where answers are. It's a place where we grow. It's a place where we expand ourselves. It's where we breathe in our trueness. Okay. Shamel, third or solar plexus chakra. This is your life force energy center. This is something that's very, very important to have as we go through when we're starting over, right? I realized that I was doing one thing that I thought was the most important thing for me in my life, right? And when I was like, maybe if I just do it the right way and not the wrong way and not the suitsy way, but the Seth David way, like the way, right? Then it will work. And it did. It did. Like today, perfect example. I could go longer, but because I know I'm on a couple of nights now, that I'm going to keep myself charged and not exhaust myself. We have to learn when to say no. There's a time for absence. There's a time to calm. There's a time for peace. Halite says you are the foundation. So let's see what the book says. Soft is not a word you use to describe a stone, but it suits halite just right. I can't make that up. That's what it says. She whispers to your monkey mind, come back to center, sit in stillness. It's not that halite wants you to curl back into bed with a cup of chamomile tea and call your day done. Quite the opposite. Halite knows that your projects and adventures, your conversations and relationships will slide into flow and synchronicity when you yourself are unruffled. You are the foundation. You are the blessing. You are where the answers are. Come from your center, undistracted by excess aggravation and random irritations, which plague us all the time. They plague us, you know. My funny thing here, me and Virginia, we talking about bills. And they'll be like, I don't want no more bills. I told my liver doctor, I said, I'm done. I want answers. I don't want continually to pay bills and 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 bills. And then the answer is just working out. Maybe the answer is just doing DDP yoga. The answer is going to, for me, again, for me, not for you, but for me, going to church, reading the Bible every day before I go to work. I have my ceremony. I do my ritual, right? I bang my gong, right, 12 times. Um, I work with my angels, right? But that's me, right? That's something I'm comfortable with. My creative vigor, how I work. That's me. Um, it helps me not become distracted by the excess aggravation of, I wish I was on a movie set. I wish I was doing this. I wish I was doing that. And more about saying, I'm doing this now so I can do that. I'm learning the lesson. I'm learning the lesson now. Making the money now so that I can do what I want to do for my family, for myself, right? Um, this is where the power lies. Well, the VA can call it whatever they want to. Um, it helps me. Um, come from your center, undistracted by excess aggravation and random irritations. This is where your power lies. There's still a point within you. Halite advises, allow yourself to sink into it. Halite also, for me, works with wolf a lot. So if you work with wolf, halite's a really good stone. What does wolf do? Howl. Oh, I have two wolves usually. One of them got broken, but one is on four legs, right, with his head cocked out this way, and the other, maybe it's not broken. Maybe it's there somewhere. Um, but one is on four legs and head cocked, and the other is like like an owl, like a wolf, excuse me, howling, and knows what it's howling at. What the other doesn't know what he's howling at. So howlite helps you understand what you're howling at. It helps you understand that first the fire. First the fire. Take the fire. Okay. I know tonight's been a little different, guys. I understand that, and it's every night's a little different. Uh, and we're trying to get into a more understanding of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull some runes, uh, and these have been sitting up today. First, we're calling the Malachite stone, right, for traveling. It's also a green stone, which is going to be a heart stone, Archangel Raphael stone, right? And I'm just going to pull. We're going to use some Viking energy here and some Celtic energy, okay? And I'm going to pull some cards. And I don't even know what they are. 1, 2, and you don't even know what they are either. 3, and we're going to put a rune down on each, and we'll see if they relate. Okay. All right. Where'd my little butt go? Well, let's first clear the space. All right. I think I found it. I think it's right here. I had it somewhere. Where did it go? Aha. Runes and meanings. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so our first rune. Let me see. Are you serious right now? Well, everything is a lesson. There are different kind of rune decks, but that's okay. 1 second, guys. I apologize. There is a Celtic rune deck. There's an old Fukar, new Fukar. Let's see if I can find it here. It's amazing how the universe just says, you know what, today this is what's going to happen. It may be like, oh, well, guess what? Okay, this is Ingus. Profound strength grows slowly. Do not take shortcuts. Make use of stored power. The positive power, the masculine, is available for all. Take action and learn by doing. Slow and steady, like a sapling growing, to be the great tree with roots that run deep grounded, that no wind can reap, no storm can touch. Magic starts here. Ready. I am Ingus. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize. Ingus is the rune of the masculine, divine, and represents the active of doing power of the masculine. It advises that its fertile and explosive power is available to us, and that if we store our strength and energy over time, we can release it towards something we want. Ingus, or pronounced Ingwaz, see, I'm learning, is both a powerful rune of manifestation and expression of the moment of powerful centering before the manifestation is evoked. So, for my friend right now who is in that very big audition, right? Huge life-changing audition. I'm talking massive audition. Let's use this Ingus, right? Ingwaz, excuse me. Let's send that to him. Make the sign with your fingers. See how that is? Right? You just put two alligator mouths together, right? And have a little space in between. It's both a powerful rune of manifestation and expression of the moment of powerful centering before the manifestation is evoked. It also reminds us that we build strength over time. For instance, when we go to the gym, we don't attempt to lift a barbell that weighs more than we do. I've done that. It's not fun. Even if we can shift, we are likely to hurt ourselves in the process. Eventually, of course, we work up to it and may be able to lift the weight and more, which we can do. But we have to be ready. Our body has to be ready. But we have to be ready, our body, by putting in the time to increase its strength. So as we're going through these changes, right? As we're growing, right? As we're starting over, this is a very good rune for that. Now let's see what card is related to that. Y'all ready? Are you kidding me? Heal your heartbeat. Heal your heartbeat. Oh my goodness, another card fell. You know what that means? It's for somebody. It's for somebody. Oh, that's Hellite. Okay. All right. The gradual increase of strength is applicable to our mind and mental powers, as well as to our body and physical powers. Mentally, we develop the focus needed to complete a difficult process or task in the same way that we develop physical strength in the gym. Ingwaz can be used as a fertility talisman for both men and women and was a symbol of the male mysteries in Viking society. Now, if you ever get this and it's reversed, right, that means there's a lack of conviction. So if you feel like there's a lack, you might say, well, I'm feeling like this stone is, like this symbol is calling me, but that's not it. This is the reason why. There's a lack of strength and conviction, too much thinking, and not enough doing. Remember, we talked about that earlier. If I can read that sign, I'm doing something wrong, right? Or the metaphysical answer, I'm doing something right, right? Thank you, Anita Allen. I appreciate it very much. So, too much thinking, not enough doing. Rushing and shortcuts will backfire at this time. Exercise patience. The elements with this are earth and fire. All right. So let's put this back in the box. Thank you, tree, for growing and bringing. All right. Our next one, let's see what that is. I just saw this thing. I've learned also that when you say you're going to do something, right, you're like, oh, I'm going to get off early, or I'm going to get off on time. That never happens. I've got to learn to stop saying that to myself. The universe is going to do what the universe does. Yo, I just got to read this first. Look at this. Look what I just went to. The void. So let's talk about it. Possibility. Still undecided by the creators. Things in flux. A little mystery is a positive thing. Knowing that we don't know is a great place from which to begin to learn. There's a great potential in your current position. The fate of the issue is not yet decided. The fallow field, the burial mound after all have gone, the slate after the wind, the broom after work, the midnight sun, the clear wind, the empty seed pod, the snow as it falls upon itself. I am the void. The void represents a blank stone or a piece of wood, was included to remind us that sometimes not knowing is the best way forward. While not part of the elder futart, it grew to be part of the metaphysical and divinatory processes. But the void does not mean absolute emptiness. Rather, it suggests that fate has not yet decided about the subject presented. It may also mean that the way is completely open to our own will and creative force. Yes, it says, the way is open. and it all is up to you. This may be both a welcome message and a daunting one. Consider a farrow field. It, it breeds rest, yes, but it's not truly empty. It's full of good earth waiting for the seeds to be laid within. It is wanting to support new growth, to create, like the fallow field. The void, too, looks empty, but it is, in fact, full of possibility and choice. Okay, let me find where this is. Okay. It's not Fihu. It's not Yuhus. And again, this may not be in here. It may be on another one. It's very hard when you're getting runes. And that's another thing people don't understand when you this is Isa, I believe. A temporary pause or halt. What we just do, we had a temporary pause or halt. It is prudent to stop and wait for a better time. Be silent and regroup. Understand that something may be frozen into place for a time. This is beneficial. Do not allow others to control you or your time. What flows may be stilled for a time. What sings may be silenced for a time. But its nature is movement, and it will return, paused, quiet to what it is. I am Isa. The Vikings were surrounded by ice, glaciers, icy mountains, frozen rivers, and streams. All were commonplace to their environment much of the year. The way that normally flowing element of water was stilled into ice was magical to Norse, and this pausing of things is what Isa represents. Pronounced, Isa, means ice, and is one of the elder Futhark. It was considered the impact of ice on water. We can see that it exerts a steady control. It slows the water's path. It makes it wait. For us. Isa can be used to, Isa can be used to quiet an unsteady mind or a racing heart. It is an excellent aid into meditation and to focus for times we need to slow down our decision making. And we all need to do that. We all need to be like, hey, you know what? That's when we can sit down, like we said, and we can read the sign on the wall. We need a little bit of Isa. Isa also focuses the will, that steely, somewhat icy part of ourselves that may need to be activated to accomplish something difficult. It helps us draw upon our reserves and settles our flightliness. Now, if you ever get this and it was reversed, may indicate a self-centeredness and an unwillingness to consider someone else's opinion. I think we all have experienced that before in our life, right? It may also signify someone who is very controlling of others. Don't be a stick in the mud. Don't be because it looks like a stick, right? It looks like a bit like a stick up the ass. Don't, whatever. Who seeks in particular to control others' times. Be aware and discerning around people like this, as they can distract you from goals or dreams. So if someone is reversing your pause, right? Someone is taking your pause and saying, you know what, I'm not letting you be paused. I'm not letting you do this. I'm not letting you write your own story. I'm telling you how. Blah, blah. And you know what? You take that stick and you knock them on the head. All right. The element here is water. Because this, if it's reversed, someone's trying to prevent you from reaching your dream, right? And we don't want that. So let's thank the earth, the trees, everything for that great message, Lord God, Father, you. Let's see what card this is. Pyrio, so much life in you. Isn't that amazing? It was under that card, so much life in you, and there's a chalice. And so when we see that chalice, what do we see? When I see that chalice, I think of the priest holding up the chalice. This is my body, this is my blood. Not worthy to receive you. And like I said, my opinion. Deep in your heart, there's a place of verdant joy and shining wellness, where moss carpets and rocks and tree trunks are crisscrossed by flowering vines. Isn't that beautiful? The air is rich with birdsong, and every breath is crisp and vibrant, reaffirming life. In this magical and miraculous inner landscape, anything is possible. You can sip from the well of wisdom, play with the strands of time, and restore your soul when it grows world weary. Wow, we just talked about that pause, right? So much life in you, even when you are paused. One second, Anthony. I'll get to that right before the show ends. This is a space. This is a space where Peridot lives, spiraling through the never-ending green. Come dance with me, she whispers. This is still so much life in you. Restore your spirit. Remember your bliss. So take the cup, fill it over brim, drink of it, share your light and your love. All right, our next rune. I have to find what it is. All right, here we go. Would be great if I just turned to it. That'd be awesome. Did I just turn to it? No. I thought I just turned to it. I'm getting there. All right, this is Hagalars. Hagalars. I'm going to put it back in here. All right, you are coming to a period of restriction. So, Anthony, this might be for you. You're coming to a period of restriction. Be wary not to extend your energies too much. Current difficulties may require major change, but this too will pass. Remember that icy pause. You can learn from the current situation. You are being distracted by drama. We've all been there. We've all been like, let's get in the drama. Let's get in the drama. Let's make it all about me. Right? We've all been there. Hardship can be endured. Resilience is necessary. You can learn from your current situation. You are being distracted by the drama. The sting of hardship, the venom, the famine of what you expect or don't want, the hope destroyer, the wrecker of crops, the plague, but this too shall pass. Ha-Galars is a rune of the Elder Futark and literally means hailstones. Now, I'm just going to tell you, we go from ice to hailstones. I can't make that up. That's what I just, and y'all know that I'm still learning this stuff. So this is what I love about the show. This is why I'm so thankful to the Rise and Phoenix Entertainment and Things Network, and to you, because I'm learning as well. And the way things are happening, the connectivity is just amazing. In the north, hailstones could wreck homes and crops, and so were used as a symbol of destruction and hardship. Hagalars is the herald of old patterns returning. And I think we have a retrograde coming up. I could be wrong. My wife always says, you always say that there's a retrograde or it's this or it's Lionsgate, and I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm a human being. I can be wrong. So I think there's a retrograde coming up very soon, of things returning that have not been dealt with, and so they're raising their destructiveness once again. If you don't deal with shit, guess what? It's like this. Not to be disgusting, but y'all have ever had a dog poop in your house? I had this happen the other day, more than once. And my dogs are very well behaved dogs. So maybe this is what maybe the universe was trying to teach me a lesson. Now you're smelling something, but you don't know what it is. You have no idea. So you're burning your candles, your Bath and Body Works candles or your incense or whatever, and you're like, maybe it's just dogs need bathing. I don't know, right? And then you look down and you're like, how did I not see this? How am I that blind? How, oh God, am I that blind? That I did not see that. I smelt it, but I did not see it. So it was present, but for some reason I was blind. I was blind and I couldn't see. Right? We've all been in those relationships where we think it's great. Everything's like, ba-da-da. Yeah, yeah, right? And all our friends were like, he's a train wreck going downtown. Not the right time, not the right place, right? We've all been there. We've all been there. So what we've got here is Hagalars, saying, all right, the old pattern of not going to the gym, not working out, not saying your prayers, not eating healthy, not following through with what you're saying, not doing what you know works, right? If you're not doing these things because, oh, I'm tired, oh, I'm exhausted, oh, I can do it tomorrow, oh, I can do this. Like when I don't feed my little feral cats, right? Um, I'm like, wow, huh, damn. And one of the greatest joys, right, for me, besides being a father, which is top, husband, right, top, um, is helping the four legged friends because they're out there eating rats and snakes and everything, and then you bring them some premium food and they're happy. That brings me joy. Uh, so Hagalars is a herald of old patterns returning of things that have not been dealt with, and they're raising their destructiveness once again. Happily, it also signals that once dealt with, even the most difficult situation can pass, leaving us with lessons learned and the resilience to come back stronger than ever before. Hagalars is a ninth rune, and nine, a number that was mentioned all through the Eddas, was a magical number of great potent in the Norse cosmos. Great change. It was said can happen after 9 days. Great change, it was said, can happen after 9 days as a protective number and one that completes change. Hagalars may be asking us to hold on our ground and take shelter and wait until things get better. Now, if Hagalars, I put it back, right? Yeah, I put it back. Um, if it's reversed, that means the hardship you are experiencing is a result of a long held pattern. So if you saw that and you got a little twitch in your body, or you felt something, and you're like, well, that one, and then you're like, oh, this is what this is. The hardship you are experiencing is a result of a long held pattern that can be changed. Either you or someone who has influenced you has an addiction that must be dealt with to avoid long term problems. You may be well playing the victim. If so, step out of the role and heal yourself. The element is water and air. So that was pretty fascinating. The final card, look at this: Sharp and Shadows, Obsidian. And when anytime I see scissors, I see something about cutting things out, clear, cancel, and delete. Something a lot of people don't learn in metaphysics, and as paranormal investigators as well, is anytime you go into a location or anytime you go around people that you shouldn't be around, right? A lot of people get, when they go out and drink and they party and they do this and that and these and those, so they just celebrate. Sometimes people they're around, they probably shouldn't be around. So that's we call a clear, cancel, and delete situation. Let me get Obsidian out here for us. Oh, look, I turned right to it. Are y'all kidding me? Here we go. I'm going to read Morganite too, because there's two things together. But Morganite first. Morganite, breathe into your heart. Morganite advises, from this space, you can expand into unexplored parts of your being, the void, connecting with the worlds both within and around in new ways, right? We are the answer. Or as my friend said, you are the tree. With your heart open, you can dive deep into your relationships, both with the human world and the non-human world. But be careful, be safe. Finding facets that didn't exist until Morganite helps you breathe them to life. Stretch into your fullness. Morganite whispers, from this place, the things that are not you get slowly crowded out by the truths of your soul. Wow, that's deep. From this place, the things that are not you get slowly crowded out by the truths of your soul. This is not a quick process. Morganite knows it's the work of years of lifetimes, but it's work worth doing for the surety and peace of being wholly yourself. Obsidian, sharp and shadows. That's a good name for a series. Sharp and shadows. Let's be clear. Obsidian is not gentle friend. No, no, it's not. Not gentle. Precise, yes. Masterful, always. Quicker than a cheetah taking down a gazelle, absolutely. But gentle, that's not Obsidian's domain. An uncompromising mirror and a surgically sharp blade. Obsidian helps you see your shadows and excise them. Now, when you're excising your shadows, and I hear a lot of people talk about shadow work and everything, it's very, very important to remember we all have light and we all have dark, right? I tell people everybody should have a yin yang, right? When I was a kid, I wore yin yang probably at least from, I would say, fifth grade to at least eighth or ninth grade. And one day I lost it. And then we got another one. An uncompromising mirror and a surgically sharp blade. Obsidian helps you see your shadows and excise them. No long, drawn out therapy sessions or weeks of facilitating. When it's time to let go. Y'all, I can't make this shit up. Right? And y'all see me. I'm just pulling stuff. It's not like it. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. My wife would say, just let it be. Message is there. Just let it be. Don't knock them over the head. No long drawn out therapy sessions or weeks of facilitating. When it's time to let go, Obsidian tells you there's no mercy in taking it slow. And that, in and of itself, is sometimes a relief. When you need the kind of honesty that lets you see your shadows clearly. Well, thank you so much, Annette. That means so much to me. When you need this kind of honesty that lets you see your shadows clearly. When you are truly ready to make a final and clear break. When you want the letting go to be a fast, call on Obsidian. Always carry Obsidian. If you're in an investigation, women, you can put the Obsidian in your bra. Men, make sure you do the sound check, right? If you're wearing a bracelet or a thing so you don't have sound pollution. Obsidian, highly recommend. Obsidian and halite together with Wolf by your side and Obsidian to cut the shadows. Very strong, very powerful. If Obsidian is appearing, there's something or someone you need to cut loose. All right. So let's go over what we did and call it a night, right? And see what the world told us today. Okay. We gotta pull one more of these. Well, we did letting go. We're pulling a little bit more right here. Okay. All right. So first, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I appreciate your love and your light and your understanding. You didn't have to come back. I've been gone for a while, but it shows me, and I appreciate it so much. We travel together. No matter we may not always be there, but we're always there in spirit and soul and mind and body. All right. So Archangel Fennell, I've never heard this one. I have to look him up. Hope, optimism, new beginnings. So we're setting that, like I said, I'm setting my intention for my friend who has that very, very big audition coming up. Letting go of urgency. Remember, we are the tree. We are growing. We are strong. We are steady. That will allow us to understand how to be free and how to be sensitive and strong at the same time. Make that noise. Pound your hammer on the anvil. Understand the cosmic pearl. Expand your psychic gifts. Open the gate to the angelic realms. It says angelic realms, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't say anything else. Start with angels. Start with crystals. Start with beast. Right? Do that. Don't go out there and be like, I want to know. I want to do. Right? It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. I hope to one day do a panel, um, and hopefully I can bring some people on in the future, and if they're comfortable talking about their experiences when they didn't take the cosmic pearl. They said, hey, I see another stone that I want. I'm going to take that. And their journey was a little different. I've been there. They've been there. We've all been there. So if you are gifted, just remember always to act with honor and integrity and speak your truth. Sometimes people aren't going to want to hear it. But you say, hey, the Black Stallion's here with me. He comes from the void, not the abyss, but the void. And the void has the answers. And I know Prometheus brought me fire. And he suffered a great punishment. He had his livers and intestines ate out every day. Right? I think by an eagle, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a whole other thing. We have to learn how to go with the flow. So we have to learn how to go with life. Life is going to be not pretty all the time. Right? Sometimes it's going to be hideous. It's going to be mean. You'll get that bill for $3,000. And you're like, what the hell? Right? But then you just go with the flow. You call Dolphin in. Right? You call Dolphin in. And Dolphin helps you with melody and understanding and beauty and truth and strength. Right? That's one of the most amazing things. Learn how to access your gifts properly. Learn how to access your gifts properly. If you're a trinket person like me, like I said, if y'all have trinkets you don't want, just let me know. If you're trying to get rid of stuff, let me know. Like little statues and such. I love that kind of stuff. Learn how to cut away the things that are not necessary. Bring in obsidian, right? Bring in obsidian. Clear, cancel, and delete. All right? When we do that, then we will allow ourselves to heal the heart, which is important. Today, I picked up a little hummingbird that had fallen and it hit the window. And Virginia called me and said, there's a bird, and I couldn't see it. Remember, like the shit in the house that I couldn't see. We've all been there. But I had to look. I had to really look because it was the green, and the grass was green, and it was by a tree, and I had to look. And then I picked it up, and I felt so much life as it flew away. And I learned that we start with the foundation. We start with us. We grow. We grow. We grow. So hope and optimism to you all as a new beginning begins. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, you can always shoot me an email at theeccentricmedium@gmail.com. Sundays with Suits at gmail.com. I believe that's the email. I'm pretty sure it is. But always theeccentricmedium@gmail.com. Please like and share this video. I'm manifesting 10 shares, right? And when you share it, tell them why you're sharing it. We want to get it out there, right? We want to have 15 people watching on our next show. And I'm going to be on Wednesday nights and Tuesday nights late. But again, I'm not going to be going like I was before, extending my time and all that kind of stuff. Because I have a family and I have to take care of them. I have to take care of myself. And you have to take care of yourself. But I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you're howling at the moon. I hope you're working with your opossum energy, working with your raccoon energy, working with your horse energy. And I'm going to tell y'all what's going to be coming up. We've got this. We've got this. And next week, we've got seed and sickle. So next Sunday is going to be seed and sickle for our harvest. So I'm not really big on plants, right? But I feel like I need to be. So I'm learning them. Right? Remember, your life is vibrating with unlimited potential. Manifest miracles with spirit every day. Y'all have been amazing. Y'all have been great. Y'all have been more than I could ever ask for. Please, like I said, like, share this video. Jill J said, thank you. Good thoughts and words. Look forward on to the next one. Oh, and y'all send me energy to get this studio where I need it to be. Because I want to show off all the stones and everything. It's just a work. It's a work in progress. That's what it is. It's a work in progress. We all are work in progresses, and that's the most thing we got to remember, y'all. We're the work in process. Even when we learn how to access our gifts, right? And we're catching that fire. We're learning. We're trying to understand what fire is, what really it is, what it can do, how it can light, how the phoenix burns ever so bright. How those things that go bump in the night. See, I put 2 shows in one line. Damn, I'm good sometimes. Here we go. So carnelian to all of you. Quartz to all of you. Lepidolite to all of you. Perio to all of you. Obsidian to all of you. Halite to all of you. Rose quartz to all of you. Y'all been amazing. Onward, upward, greatness abounds. Soak up that humanity. Create that art. Make that impact. We're the army of now, the army of tomorrow. No. We're the army of now. So that our children and their children don't have to have armies. No, they can run the fields. They can run with fairies and go on mountaintops and climb hills and look at stars and be wolves if they so desire. Hike hills, hike mountains, reach for the stars, put them in your hand and throw them back up and then go at it again. Ooga Sooth, everybody. Y'all have an amazing Monday coming up and a week ahead. I'll see you this week on all the networks that I'm on. I can't even talk anymore. I'm exhausted. Y'all be good. God bless. And a card for y'all to end tonight. You live life in abundance. Imperial Topaz. And I'm about to do this. Labradorite. Recharge your destiny. Y'all be good. Light your candles for those that are no longer here for us, okay? Light your candles. Love yourself. Believe in yourself. Freedom. Freedom is a snap away.